Hey, thanks for tuning in for another episode of ReMinders. So today's episode was recorded at least a month or two ago at this point. My friend Lacinda, Kara, and I were hanging out here at the house, and we just decided to spontaneously make a podcast episode. So it's a much more informal approach than some of the other episodes, being that we didn't really intend to make an episode, so there wasn't necessarily a topic at hand that we were really centering around. But Lacinda was over and we were going to do some paint pouring, and so that's what we're doing while we're having this conversation. And if you're not familiar, paint pouring is this method Kara showed to me recently, like a year or two, within the year for sure. So we're using vinyl records, old records that we'll find at, the thrift bin for 25 cents, 50 cents, whatever, and just repurposing them as decoration. So we'll use the vinyl record, paint it white, and then we have different paint colors with what's called Floetrol, and basically it gives it like this marbling effect. We put the paint into a solo cup, and then put the record on top of the solo cup, flip it so the paint falls down on the record, lift up the cup, and you just sort of let gravity do the painting for you. It's a pretty cool process. Very, very different form of painting for sure. It gives you kind of a time crunch, or this pressure cooker of you are finishing it in one sitting, just kind of like letting gravity make the paint sway to the edges of the record, and it's a cool process. So anyway, that's what we're doing. We're just hanging out. Topics we get into are actually pretty in line with the last few episodes that I did with Kara, where we're talking about our spring reset. We talk about changing habits, and I know at one point we got into talking about deprivation tanks and stuff like that. We're honestly all over the board and recorded for at least 2 hours, if not more. And this is just the first hour of it. So the second hour, I feel like we got even more silly. I'm not sure that I'll end up releasing that one or not. It might be some bonus episode later down the line. But yeah, without further ado, welcoming on Lacinda, and Kara's back on the pod, and we're just being a bunch of silly billies. So hope you enjoy. I also have this thing where I don't like getting my hands dirty, like specifically with like things that aren't just like dirt and mud, like
yeah.
Earthly.
Yeah.
But I don't like mud.
Okay. It's like too wet. Paint's also wet.
Paint's like wet, and you're gonna have to clean it later.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lingering job.
Yeah.
Another to-do item.
Yeah, it gives me like low-key anxiety to have
paint coming at you.
Paint on my hands. Yeah. Do you guys relate to that at all?
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Okay. Definitely.
Okay. That resounding silence was making me feel otherwise.
I was really into your paint.
Yeah.
I also really don't like when my feet get wet.
Like at all?
Like that's like a.
What about if it's intentional, like taking a bath?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like that's fine. Like if I choose to like it, I'm cool with that. But like walking around with wet shoes, like being out,
yeah,
and, that's like something that I'm afraid of. Like oh god, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, like.
Or like
in your socks?
Oh,
yeah, or just in general, like with flip flops even.
Yeah, I don't like. Oh yeah, with flip flops it hurts. Because like it like rubs with the water. Mm-hmm. But like when we have to work and outside when it's like have been raining, or like it's just like morning and the grass is wet and my feet get wet, and then it's just it makes me grumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I totally feel that.
But at the same time, like walking with naked feet is really nice.
Yeah.
And necessary, I feel.
Yeah, inside shoes, not comfortable.
Yeah.
Without shoes, definitely comfortable.
Yeah.
Mud, though, I struggle to walk in mud barefoot.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
But, like,
unless
if-
it's like an experience
Yeah,
that you're looking
if that's
for, you
right.
know, like.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go put my feet in the mud.
And then I can wash my feet right after. Like, I'm into that, but not like.
Exactly.
You know that you're gonna have a place to wash your feet.
Yo.
But like, I'm always afraid of like being like on a hike or something and like stepping into the water and then like my feet are gonna be wet for the rest of the time, and that's just like.
That would be terrible. Yeah.
But I am itching to go camping and hiking and like just like be outside.
Yeah, same.
That's unnecessary.
Yeah, like I quit hibernation, but it didn't quit me yet.
Yeah, right.
Still got some cold months.
Yeah, we do. And like I feel like I have been pretty good, like the last couple winters, like, 'cause I struggle with winter. I'm a summer baby. Winter is not good for me. But I feel like the last couple years I've been working on leaning more into the winter. And that's helped a lot. Like, even just like getting outside on the day, even if it's cold, just like go outside. Yeah. Like, it's cold, I don't want to go outside. But yeah, I feel like that's helped a lot.
Yeah. I remember, like, it must have been last year or the year before, just like choosing to be cold. Like, I go outside and be like, okay, I'm cold. This feeling I'm feeling means that I'm alive, and I'm grateful to be alive.
Yeah.
So maybe this is refreshing. Maybe this is crisp and cool, and I like it.
Right.
I just like kept telling myself, like, yeah, this is a great experience. I like this cold air. It's nice.
Yeah, this is why I came here.
Yeah. To live and feel the things.
Yeah.
So thank you for all this cold. It's great. It's definitely changed my perspective in the winter for sure. To just start that like thought process.
Yeah.
That I can remember too.
Right. Yeah.
Yay! I could feel stuff.
Right. I want to get through the resentment because I just like it just feels like resentment sometimes. It's like I can't help this. It's
I feel that. Yeah, I used to get mad, like angry.
Like I feel like as soon as I step outside, like my body would start to hurt. Like I would immediately clench up and like it's like it's just hard to relax my body.
Yeah, I think that's why I was suddenly committed.
Yeah. That's so
because
true.
I was having back pain, especially in the winter, and I think it was a result of that. Just like really resisting the cold. Yeah. So leaning into winter, I totally like that.
That's so true. So wise to come to that conclusion, seriously. Because once you know that, then you can choose to open yourself to the feeling like you're talking about.
Yeah.
Which, it's just a feeling
Yeah.
that we resist. The resistance is what sucks.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to get into cold showers.
That's
But I'm still trying to psych myself past the it's just a feeling.
Right.
I'm waiting for summer to implement that
that's a good
joyous
point.
discipline.
That's a good point.
Start it out when it's something like fun and like a reward, you're outside.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in and take my cold shower, that's something you
Not in the dead of winter.
To, Maybe eat a couple mushrooms first, really like trick the brain into thinking that that's something that you like.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Or just even microdose.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
For sure.
a bite is enough to
Right before the
open up the neuro pathways.
Yeah, it's something we were talking about because we're, starting on a cleanse and general lifestyle reset. And we were thinking about, like, this would be a really good time to start, like, an actual, like, practice of microdosing every day.
Yeah.
Because, like, changing your lifestyle and, like, getting those neurons rewiring, like, I just feel like that's such a...
Yeah, it makes
Like,
sense.
just, like, such a partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, using it as a tool at that point, and legit as medicine, not something you're really even gonna feel
Right.
intensely, at least.
Right.
You might feel it a little bit.
Maybe, like, in the beginning, but, like, once you get used to it, you're not really... Yeah. It's just, like, your state of mind.
Right.
No, I'm on you, and that's like...
Here we go.
That's some serious reminding, like repatterning your mind.
Yeah.
I don't know who said it. It's probably just a pretty popular thing to say in the psychedelic community, but the idea that, and I know I've said this to both of you before, but the idea that our
There's that chilly breeze.
Oh, I love it.
Oh yeah, there's that breeze we all been waiting for. Yeah.
You might want to use the other one. There might be more on this one.
Yeah. But the idea that, like, if you think of a snow slope as a metaphor of the brain and the neuro pathways and patterns, neurons that wire together type stuff, it being the so these pants have just been like my art pants. I'm gonna like turn these into like a whole art piece.
Whole art. There you
Because
go. Art pants.
I haven't worn these in like 3 or 5 years. Somewhere between 3 and 5 years. Because we were tie-dyeing one time and I got some tie-dye on it. Like a big blob of blue.
But you kept them.
But kept them because I was like, I'm gonna have to like figure out a way of like bleaching them or something.
To address this one day.
Yeah. And then I was just like, alright, I'm out of pants. These are next. That was this week.
That's so funny.
And anyway, so we
your
were
art.
talking about them being my art pants.
I
And
like
like extending it. But I also don't want them to just be dirty. Just have like
There's
blobs.
gonna be an awkward stage between
Yeah.
now
yeah.
and when they become art pants.
Yeah.
I think for now they're just like.
Please tell me how you really feel about my art pants.
I was trying to step into what you were thinking.
Are you saying that they're more like fart pants right now?
That's not what I said. Those words did not come out of my mouth.
That's the bylaw.
In fact, I didn't actually say any words. I just like made a face and then so. Your interpretation.
Which said plenty.
It's all up to you.
But anyway, I was talking about something way more interesting than
I kinda like
my
the-
fart pants
the fart
before
pants.
that. But yeah, so the idea that like your brain is wired and patterned in a certain way, just like if you were like skiing down a slope, you know, you're gonna tend to find the groove that's already been grooved and groove in that,
Sure.
right? So like psychedelics is like a fresh snowfall, just like gives you like a novelty to the moment. You know, you're not just in your patterns and in your habitual patterns of mind and of behavior.
Yeah.
You know?
I really like the metaphor of marbles.
I don't know that I've heard
Going
that one.
toward a same idea, but instead of like when I visualize when you say that is ski slopes, like
Yeah.
that width, you know, of like a groove being created in a snowy hill.
Yeah.
But I've always
And in all
imagined-
directions, right?
Right,
Because
right.
it's a brain.
Exactly. I've always imagined marbles, like in some kind of wild obstacle course.
Yeah.
Letting gravity, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The deeper the groove, the more marbles go into it.
Right. Right.
I like to think
That's
of
interesting.
But
Pee
I
Wee
like
Herman's.
the fresh snow.
Pee Wee Herman.
Do you remember the Pee Wee's Big Adventure? And he had this like craziest like
The beginning?
yeah,
the
with
stuff
all
in the-
this stuff that
Yeah.
turned like got his breakfast
Like an
ready.
egg.
And,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
don't even remember like any of the objects that were in it, but like you know, like 'cause you're
I
like
want to
learning
watch
stuff.
that.
That is a crazy.
Let's do
movie.
that.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, as I have it on DVD.
You do?
Yes!
Oh my god, why?
Like I don't know how long I've been here, how many minutes are passing, but every so often I'm being reminded, like I'm in the perfect place with the perfect people.
Yeah, dude.
I wanna watch
100%.
There's no reason
Yes.
you should have that on DVD.
There
said
isn't.
no reason
I
you
don't
should or
even know
shouldn't.
why.
I am 100% with
And I'm
that.
also simultaneously thrilled that you have it on DVD.
Yeah.
I'm in the right place with the right people.
So Kara and I have a running list of movies that made us feel like that just had a really weird feel in childhood, and that's one for me.
Yeah.
Because we had that
Yes.
movie at my grandparents' house, and I think it was particularly that scene with the lady in the truck or whatever.
Large March.
I don't even know what happened.
Yeah, there's
I
some
don't
weird
remember
stuff. It's the face contorts. Do you remember?
No spoilers. We're gonna
Okay,
watch it
sorry.
soon. Maybe even tonight.
We'll
Put
see
it
how-
on right
we'll see
now.
how things go.
We can
we'll
pause
see.
what we're doing.
Put it on the big screen. Okay.
But yeah, anyway, my point in bringing
So
that
you
up
ready for another one?
was
Sure.
what was my point?
I can finish that. That's real quick. Pee-wee.
His thing, yeah. So you know, you're rewiring, and it's like, but you're like learning new tricks along the way. So you're like have this like, you know, varying path of new things.
Yeah.
It's not just like
And you're saying that his is the opposite.
what?
Because he did the same exact thing every day, that it was like a mechanized morning routine for him.
Right, but that's how your brain works. You know, every pathway of your brain is connecting to something. It has, some
Right.
like one
Yeah.
job, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
so it's like you're rewiring how that job is done. You know, or like adding things to that like make it an easier experience, you know?
I'm sorry, do you mind saying it one more time? I keep spacing when you get to, like, the main point.
Maybe because it doesn't make any sense.
No, that's cool, though. Try it out for me one more time.
Okay. So
I'm with you so far. That's a good metaphor for the brain. That it's like this interconnected thing where every little ping pong of thing, it's like the domino effect of like how the whole thing runs together.
Right. So
simultaneous
I'm thinking,
connections.
like,
okay.
When you're, teaching your brain how to do things differently or learn something new, like you're rewiring and like forging new paths, and it's like each done with some other crazy little
so you're saying that we need to figure out which little like levers and pulleys to access that change? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think that you're creating a new one.
Oh, brand new.
A brand new, yeah. So it's like
but
you're
what
adding...
does it connect to? It needs some sort of skill or tool or like entry access point, right?
Oh,
so what would that be?
Goodness.
Or what would an example of that be?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it would need an access point. It would just like connect to the thing before it. But
what is that?
Whatever is before it.
Whatever. So like for instance, if you're trying to like change a bad habit that like is always triggered by this one thing.
Yeah.
Then maybe you could use that one thing that always triggers the thing that you don't want. You could have that trigger something that's a new healthy pattern.
Yeah. I like that.
Because I mean, that's what they say about addiction is that you really gotta replace them with a better one.
I've heard that.
And that
makes sense.
And
well, that relates back to what she was saying about how one neuron has one job, right? So if the job is to get from point A to point B, are we going to use addiction to this or to that to get from point A to point B?
Yeah, wow, that's mind blowing. I've never really thought about it like that before,
either.
but I have definitely been presented with that information that you know to replace one with another.
Yeah, I've always honestly felt like not so attached to that particular advice, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it does make sense in a way.
I've resonated with it. I just haven't known like what I would replace it with. I always think like meditation or yoga or whatever, but there's something about those things that feel more like work than a reward. And that's what's so tricky about and sticky about our current modern culture where like everything is so addictive because it's so easy to have a dopamine hit without putting a whole lot of labor into making it happen. We can literally just pick up our phone and tap any number of icons and get a quick little, So replacing those with like high motivation, like high motivational things versus just like easy, low motivational rewards.
Yeah. I always think like glass of water. If I want to stop doing something and start doing something else, I always think. I never do it. I never implement this idea.
Drink the glass of water, or it's just
like
mantra?
instead of doing the thing.
You just think it.
No,
glass of water.
Yeah. I like that.
That's gonna be both now.
Okay, good.
A new mantra.
While you're drinking the glass of water. I mean, that's perfect. Mindfulness, you're
absolutely.
just.
That's drinking this water.
I am this water being drunken.
Right. Thank you, self.
Yeah.
I feel like that also gives you like a second to like stop and actually like think about what you're doing and like, do I actually need this thing? Like if it's like your thing is like you want to like not go for the munchies or something. It's like maybe you actually are hungry and you're associating with that with munchies. Like stop, think, am I actually hungry? Before going on with the action.
Actually be in the body.
Yeah.
And what the flow is. Is this an actual bodily need or am I just acting out of boredom or habit or past identity, Yeah, I love that. One quick little boost that I just did right before we came up here is just like cold water to the face a few times.
That sounds terrible.
No, but it's like such a like
why would I resist that?
It's such a microdose of taking a cold shower though. It's so much more manageable. I can handle this.
Surely.
Some cold water to the face. And it's a jolt of energy for real. It's such a nice refresh.
Yeah.
If you're having anxiety or like just not grounded,
Reset.
quick little reset.
Yeah.
Really works.
Yeah, it gets you back in the body.
Yeah, and there's physiological benefits of, coldness on your skin.
Yeah.
And like cryogenic therapy is that thing that I did that one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever heard of Dow floats? You know about the like deprivation tanks and stuff? Have you ever done one?
No.
So I got kind of involved with them for a little bit a couple years ago. And part of what they have at the Dow floats, where they have a few isolation tanks, they also had a cryogenic therapy tank, which is basically this little shower pod that you get in, and they shower you with, is it nitrogen or something?
I think.
I don't know the chemistry.
Sure.
I don't know the chemistry, but basically dry ice.
Yeah.
They pump it with temperatures. I was at negative 360.
What?
Yeah, can you? It's like
What
unfathomable.
are you even saying?
It's
Like,
insane.
you know
You
how
were
much?
inside of a tank that...
Basically like a little shower pod, like a little like a stand-up shower.
A
room.
A
A tiny little
room.
room, a little closet.
fully clothed
No,
with water.
no, it's
Okay.
air. Yes, it's gas. Yes, temperatures, like dry ice.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's, okay, got it.
Yeah,
Full
so it's
circle.
the gaseous form of
Yeah.
water. I don't know if it's hydrogen though. I don't know what it was. I feel like it was nitrogen something.
So you felt cold.
I was in there for like 3 minutes. They blasted "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen on the little stereo set
Brilliant.
they had, which honestly they could have taken the volume down a little bit.
It was
Was it intense?
literally. I was out in the waiting room
Yes.
and it was like full volume. I
Yeah.
just lost it when I
They
heard
probably
it start.
should have like checked the volume before. getting me
you
in
were the
this
only person in the
negative
building. They were just like
360 degree. Yeah.
Maybe that's their
Freddie
process
Mercury.
though. They're just like, we're gonna shock them with this volume, and that's what he's gonna be thinking about while he's
Yeah,
he's not gonna be
yeah.
thinking what like that he's
Could
cold.
be.
Yeah.
Could be.
You know, just, like,
I'm gonna need
fully
some consent for
immersed.
that. Like, an audio engineer, I need my ears at full capacity.
Right.
But yeah, no, it was very interesting. You know how much we were just talking about resisting like 20 degrees,
Yeah.
0 degrees, negative 360.
I don't understand.
It's almost inconceivable, but like it wasn't that bad. You know, there's a threshold to these things. We're used to being in comfortable, heated environments, and then going out into the natural world where it's like if we had spent all day, all year out there, it wouldn't be a shock to the
wouldn't be as
system.
shocking,
You know,
right.
but that threshold of shock, like once you're shocked, you're shocked.
Right.
You know, I'm not gonna continue to go like, yeah. So it's just like it was cold.
Yeah.
It was cold, but I was in there such a short amount of time.
3 minutes does not sound like a short amount of time. For
It might have been
negative
2.
300 degrees.
It might have been 2,
So-
2.5, something like that.
Even
but
if it was
yeah.
1, it seems intense.
I mean, I was definitely like dancing around, like, you know, stay
Yeah.
alert, but like, yeah, and they suggest that you do like 2 sessions within, I don't know, like a month. And I only did the first session, so I maybe only got half benefit, not the full package,
Yeah.
but yeah, speaking of package, I kind of felt like I like froze my package off
Yeah,
a
I
little
bet.
bit, so I was a little bit like, I don't remember what the deal was. If I like didn't wear the right kind of underwear or something, like maybe
What
I
is the right kind of
or
underwear?
like boxers versus briefs or
Oh,
something. I think I had just regular boxers on, so it was like loose air,
Yeah.
and I was like kind of
Not
like
so good.
slightly paranoid
Not
about
so
that
good.
afterwards.
I bet.
But it all worked out.
You're good. I'm fine.
But I have not returned,
I don't know
so.
that I would with my package either.
Well, they actually took that tank out of that location, and now that location's closed completely, unfortunately. But it was right up there in Marymount, which is like 15 minutes from us.
Yeah.
I signed up for the Deprivation Tank. They had some kind of special where you could, I don't even remember how much it was, like $100, 200, something like that, and you could go every day for 2 weeks. So I made that a little challenge, and I went every single day.
That's
I may have missed like a day or 2,
Okay.
but I went basically like 12 times in 14 days, something like that. It was awesome. I mean, talk about like timeline jumping and stuff. Like, I didn't even know about reality transurfing or like really even. I guess I was on the imagination train by then. Yeah, because
Imagination train.
yeah, because we were living in this house by that time, and we definitely used imagination to find this house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know what I mean by imagination train. Yeah. Live from the end.
Yeah.
You know, we imagined how good it would feel to be in a house that had a studio, and just was a good space for us, and, you know, But anyway, yeah, Deprivation Tanks. So you've never done it?
Nope.
Kara's done it how many times?
I think twice, maybe
Twice.
3 times.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you know the basic idea of it, right?
Tell me more about it.
I mean, you're in there for, what is it, Kara? You
an
can do an
hour.
hour or an hour and a half. I think you could do a session that's 2 hours if you wanted
Yeah.
to. Of course, they charge you by the time.
Right.
But yeah, I've done an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and it's basically just a shortcut to meditation. You know, it's basically a psychedelic experience. You know, just doesn't require a
So you
physical
can't
substance.
hear anything. You can't see
It's
anything.
depriving all of your senses,
Yeah.
so you can feel your body, of course,
Right.
but you're in highly salted water.
Okay.
Just like the Dead Sea, like the
Yeah.
salt content in the
Yeah.
water is so high that you're buoyant. You're just
Okay.
floating in
Yeah.
the tank. And they give you earplugs. You don't necessarily have to have those. It's not like there's a ton of sound going on in the building,
Right,
but you know,
yeah.
just extra.
Did you use earplugs?
I have, because it helps with the water getting in your ears,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I'm kind of used to earplugs anyway, so
Right.
it doesn't bother me.
You also have the option to, they play music for the first 10 minutes if you want to help you kind of like ease into it, and then they shut everything off. So
Okay.
they give you like a couple
Yeah.
minutes, like when you get
get in
in
the
with
zone.
like
Yeah.
some like soft light, and they turn the lights off, and then they
Some new
have
agey
some
music,
music,
you know.
and then they shut the music off.
But yeah, so like isolation tanks, you know,
Yeah.
I think that can be another perfect way of re-patterning yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And I felt like doing it daily was really nice because it took away the pressure of like, all right, this is my big float for the year. Like the first time I floated was on my birthday, on my 26th birthday, I think. And that was like kind of trippy because my mom was 26 when she had me, that sort of thing. So I was like, okay. And it was cool, but it was like kind of like takes an hour to really get into it. Unless you're like a really experienced meditator,
Yeah.
really good at getting super
Centered,
present
yeah.
and centered like quickly. I think for a lot of people it takes about an hour to get into that zone. So I think 2 hours is probably the better
Yeah.
Yeah.
experiential part. But I mean, I know, like, speaking of my mom, like, she's not into that idea at all. Like, that does not appeal to her. I think for some people, just even like a half hour or hour is like a breakthrough dose for them.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah.
to sit with yourself in
Right.
water and darkness, you know? So, I like that a lot.
I like this one. Yeah.
You've got like a Easter kind of palette going.
Yeah.
It's very springy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thought of a tank, I think, immediately feels a little scary.
Yeah.
Like claustrophobic, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know, it feels easy to push past that in my mind anyway. In the
Can you pass me the
experience.
sponge? Ooh, wow, nice!
That is really nice.
I'm still listening.
I don't even know what I was saying.
No, I hear you,
A
though.
tank, claustrophobia.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, do you feel claustrophobia like in waking life at all?
No, but I wouldn't go into a cave
By yourself?
Really?
Or at all?
at all.
Oh?
No, thank you.
Really?
Yeah. I went somewhere with a friend in my younger years. It must have been the Gorge, and there was like this walkthrough of a cavernous type.
Yeah.
I kind of blocked it, to be honest. Like the whole experience was
Yeah?
actually quite intense for me.
Wow, tell me about it. So like,
We were like tethered, not super for safety reasons, more so that like we didn't get too far behind, I guess. It felt like an hour and a half. It was probably like not a big piece of land at all.
yeah.
But I remember distinctly like having to move my body through these tinier spaces, having to get down and crawl at one point. I was not a fan.
Were there like rails and stuff?
No,
Okay.
no.
Huh.
That
'Cause
does
we
sound
did-
really intense.
Yeah.
Like walls right here, like close.
No
to-
lights.
No.
Okay,
there were parts
that's
that were
much more
open
intense
to
than
the
what we've
side.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were portions that were dark and there were portions that were open enough to like see light. Like enough light, like a lot of light.
But you were underground.
Some kind of cave, yeah.
That's
Interesting.
wild.
That does
I could not
sound
tell you
intense.
what's that
It was
called?
brutal.
Spelunking.
That sounds pretty creepy.
And my friend and all her family had done it like multiple times and loved the whole experience. I didn't find anything about the invitation to be threatening. And then
What are they getting so hyped about?
Right.
Part of this is fun to you guys. Well, we went on a cave like tour in Montana this past summer, and that was pretty dope.
That sounds cool.
Because it was lit.
Yeah,
There
they
were
turned
lights
the
in
lights
there.
off just for a second for
Yeah.
us to like be able to see what it would be like to be
darkness.
dark,
Yeah.
but like the lights were on the whole
There was
time.
handrails. I mean, it did get a little close quarters at certain spots, of course. But
Yeah.
But it was like
Yeah.
the beginner's trail. Like we specifically did it because it was
Yeah.
like not scary.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I think that if I could enjoy the experience of a cave, maybe that
Yeah.
sounds like maybe I could handle it.
Do you ever go up to Yellow Springs?
No.
Let's go up to Yellow Springs.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that like soon. Actually, it's a cool like. It doesn't
I
have
keep
to be, it
thinking
doesn't
I
have
want
to be
to
hot
go.
Yeah,
to go there.
yeah.
Like it, we've gone
We went
there in the
last,
snow. Yeah, last year.
Last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that just last year?
Yeah. Wait, have you never been?
No.
Oh wow. Oh dude, this is like rite of passage for living in Ohio,
Yeah.
like Southern Ohio, like.
Yeah, it's been on my list.
Yeah, Yellow Springs, like hippie town. They've got
Yeah.
really nice trails and access to.
Oh, you
yeah,
know
the
what? I
wild
think
and
Ella and I
stuff.
drove through there once, but didn't
Yeah.
spend a ton of time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I would like to experience that.
Yeah, just a hike, just like a little day trip out there. That looks awesome, babe. That's a sick.
does look really
sick
good.
piece. That's like really unique. You haven't done any like that before,
No.
palette wise, or even really like. Yeah, the blotches and stuff. Wow. See, when you do them like that, I'm just like, here, take
take
the
it.
next one. Take the next one.
I forget to even
I
put
get
any
bummed
of the
when
stuff
they
in
don't
there.
turn out.
Yeah,
I really do, because it's
Can you
like
pour over them?
we haven't tried pouring over one that
Yeah.
has dried already.
Yeah. Though that's what I did with that one, and that worked out pretty
Yeah,
well.
if you
Yeah,
pour
yeah,
it
yeah.
into
Second
it,
pour.
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking
yeah.
once they're dry. I guess.
Once it's dry,
We haven't tried that.
like
Like if you're truly like dissatisfied.
right,
Yeah.
like you
Just
could
start.
try it, but like,
I feel like it would be bumpy.
are you
because
just
it's
gonna
dry, kind of
over?
bumpy,
Are you just gonna go over the whole
Yeah.
thing, or like, yeah, I don't know. That'd be tough, but doable. But yeah, that reminds me of Easter, which reminds me I wanted to ask you too. Kara was talking about being a summer baby, and which is to say, a baby in the winter.
Who's that? Who's the
being
baby in the
conceived in
wind?
the
Have it-
winter and growing in the winter. Is that
I
what
meant
you
like you act like a baby in the winter.
Oh.
I didn't know I was gonna have to explain that one. Sorry. But I wanted to ask you, being born in January, which is winter. Like, do you feel like super resistant to winter? Do you feel more comfortable in it?
I feel more comfortable than I used to, but
Really?
it's still a struggle. I'm
Yeah.
still livid every January 19th that my birthday is in January.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. And every year I'm like, I'm
Really?
going to celebrate in July. No one's going to know. No one's going to know.
I think it's a great idea.
And if you know, just let's do it, okay? Just be on my team about it.
I'm a Cancer now, so deal with it.
Deal with that.
What else were you using, Kara? So I can continue building this, but go on.
That was it.
Oh,
I think
that was it.
some yellow.
sad. Every year.
I feel like I do like December. I like being born in December. I like the winter. I was stoked when it snowed the other day.
Really?
Like, I think it's beautiful.
I like looking at it.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
be inside of it.
I mean, sometimes I like driving in it. Like,
I hate driving in it.
Nope.
not if I have somewhere to be, like, a certain amount of
Just
time.
driving around.
Yeah, just cruising. Like,
Do you do that? Do you cruise?
I did a little bit, like, on the way home from teaching a lesson, because
Okay.
that plaza that we turned into,
Yeah.
that street gets busy. That's
Oh,
the main
okay.
track, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, taking a left out of that plaza.
I like that you compared it to Coleraine. I feel like that's accurate, except it's like way
pretty
bigger.
parallel.
Ugh, I was just on Coleraine
yeah.
today. I hated every second of it.
Yeah, it's definitely like
Coraine is the worst.
but not by much. I mean, it's still just your brother Coleman, Kara's brother Coleman, has put it really well. It's always stuck with me. Driving up Winton, through Finneytown and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just like being in a consumerist carnival, you think of like shoe carnival and just like the architecture
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
Kroger and like
Right.
the plazas and stuff, like ew,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so funny.
Yeah,
I was literally
Beijing's-
having
yeah.
the
It
same
doesn't
thoughts.
have the little
weird.
cozy beauty of a small town where you're just like, oh,
Right.
word,
Yeah.
word.
It's cute. And
Just like-
cozy.
Yellowstone's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so cute.
And it's thriving.
Yeah.
Most small towns are ghost towns, which is
Yeah.
really sad. Yeah. Or they've been renovated, like Cincinnati. Yeah.
Small towns are Hawaiian intentional communities, right?
Yeah.
Essentially. Are
Yeah.
you handing that to me?
Yeah. This
Like the
goes on
inner workings of a
that.
small
Do you
town.
want to know?
All of it?
Not all of it.
Oh, this is the green.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
It's okay.
What are you saying?
The inner workings of a small town are like supportive and inclusive. Like
Yeah.
it has to maintain itself.
Absolutely.
So we just need to move to small towns.
It's just that, and to me, the only difference is that small town is still operative in a capitalist
Yeah.
framework.
Ultimately,
you know?
yeah.
And I think that's why we saw the undoing of it.
Right.
Because when you take capitalism to its extreme, it looks like what it's looking like now. Which I think goes without saying. Am I pouring all this in there? That
No,
did
not all of it. Just like some. I put some.
No,
blue
no,
in
no.
there.
All of these colors? This was part of your
Yeah.
color palette? Okay.
Yeah,
All
put some
right.
blue in there.
I remember yours having blue in it.
That's a little bit of blue. But yeah, I think that's kind of what we were like,
So,
kind of
no?
hoping that. Yeah, that's good. Mount
No, I
Washington.
mean like.
For oh no,
For the-
no,
no?
Here, take this now. Put that down.
Oh, Mount Washington would be that
Yeah,
way.
yeah. I mean, because it definitely used to be a very like
Yeah.
thriving neighborhood of Cincinnati where it was like its own condensed
Yeah.
thing. That's
Yeah.
kind of like I've always
Yeah.
had that desire to live and work in a community and
Right.
like be a part of it and like. I was
Have you
kinda
seen like
hoping-
the main drag through like small Mount Washington?
Yeah, it's just like a couple blocks,
Yeah,
but it's just, you know,
you
like
wouldn't go through
little
it.
local businesses.
Well, that's what you want, is a couple blocks, that's
yeah,
enough.
right, yeah,
right,
you have
small
everything
town.
that you need.
Or
yeah.
small town vibes, yeah.
Yeah, everything you need
Yeah.
in 2 blocks. That's
Exactly.
plenty.
Yeah.
That's plenty.
And all the like OG Mount Washington-ers are all like.
Let's come up with the new names of those at some point.
Yeah, let's come back to that.
Come back to that.
Just call them the natives.
Yeah, they're all resentful at the Kroger that's up there.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it is kind of, when you see it, it looks like a castle. Like, it's like a
Yeah.
huge wall.
Okay.
And it's
And just like
this
blocked
Kroger.
off
It's kinda-
like the entire corner of the city, like
Yeah.
the city, the neighborhood.
the town, yeah.
I like need a cookie.
Oh,
Okay.
they're
I'm
behind
down
me.
for that.
Hold
Ooh,
on,
that's a stretch for Kara.
hold on, I got it.
How are we doing, like,
shit,
temperature-wise? You guys comfortable?
Good.
I'm good.
'Cause I just
I
got
think
really
that's
hot.
good. Do you want some? Do you want some of that? I didn't put it on.
Floetrol?
mine. Yeah, no, that's not Floetrol. That's coconut serum.
I don't know what it does. Do I want it?
What'd you
It
want?
makes like little like bubbles.
Floetrol is like what this is.
Oh.
It's what creates
it
the
used-
marbling.
Yeah, the first time we did it, I'll show you the difference. With actual Floetrol, which I guess is like a brand name, right?
It's like a no, Floetrol
Oh,
is just like a
okay.
chemical name.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
Well,
what
the
it
actual
is.
chemical that we used before using Elmer's glue makes it a lot more like waxy and like polished,
Like
looking,
glossy.
like glossy,
Oh,
yeah.
glossy,
Okay.
yeah. But it's kind of expensive.
You know, we could always like cast resin over them
I was
if
just
we
gonna
really
say, I
want
wonder what
that
else
like.
you could use.
Yeah.
A resin can get expensive. I don't know. Resin
Yeah.
makes me nervous. It seems like such a serious chemical reaction.
Right, and that's
You know?
kind of how I was feeling with like the Floetrol too. It's
Really?
like I don't know what this is.
Right.
Like, I mean, Elmer's glue is at least non-toxic. Like,
Yeah, but that's that thing about choosing in fear all the time. Like
True.
my mind always that's where the marbles go. Mm-hmm. To this, what's wrong here?
yeah.
You know? Always looking for that. I'm so grateful to be in a place to challenge that right now. I feel
Yeah?
so good about that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
What's the origin of that? Like your sensitivity
fear?
to like what's in these chemical stuff? Because like you know,
Getting pregnant.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had like spurts of it throughout my life.
Were you reacting to stuff
No.
or just
I just like needed to
starting
protect the child.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't, like I said, like it was always something I was attracted to, but like in the ecosystem I existed in at the time, it was not supported. It was like foo-foo hippie crazy person kind of response, you know?
Yeah.
That's
And-
unfortunate.
Yeah, but it's
Sad.
okay. It's all, it's all perfect.
Sure.
But yeah, I just like the real issue was I didn't feel confident or comfortable enough to express myself as myself. So it wasn't even about them. It would be nice. It would have been nice and probably easier to have more receptivity, but generally speaking, it was a core issue. I wasn't committed. I didn't really get my why, you know, and then I got pregnant and I thought, yeah, no. All these things that I knew to be true about the stuff I was putting in my body, I was like, okay, it's time. This is my reason to commit.
Yeah.
And it started like, you know, healthy, and slowly just turned into like, again, being in an ecosystem where I wasn't being received well.
Yeah.
When I told Taylor's mom at the time I lived with her, that I was going to have a natural birth, she like challenged that. She was like, oh yeah, I doubt that. Something like that. Like, it just wasn't like received well.
She was like, you'll see.
That's such like a normal thing that you hear, though, you know, like if anybody's considering that, or like anybody, like my mom ended up having to do a natural birth with me, but that was like, oh my God, you're crazy for doing that. And that's just like what people say.
Yeah, it's programmed.
Yeah,
it's program.
It is. Yeah,
100%.
Exactly.
At the time, I didn't know not to fault her for it. You know, I was like, my heart was broken, and she wasn't supportive.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of went from there, I guess. Then I started to realize that the child would be born, and people would want to hold her, and people would want to take care of her.
Yeah.
But all this stuff that you don't agree with is what we need to be doing, you know?
Right.
So it just kind of went and just snowballed, I think. What was the question?
Just like what your initial...
Where the fear stemmed,
or inspiration to be like... Like clean, like natural cleaning. I think that's super respectful.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Thanks.
But I can also see, not to put words in your mouth, but I could see, like... I see it in myself. It becomes a certain, like, neurosis if it's like, you can never expose yourself to a chemical.
Right,
you know? Because, shit, this stuff's in the air. It's in our food. Whether we want to...
Here's the thing. Like, years ago, I feel like I got over the possibility of having chemicals in my own body. I don't know if I said this to you guys the other night or in some other space I was talking about this in, but, like, I believe the human can adapt. I said this, right?
Yeah.
So, all of this knowledge, like, that I wish to implement and live in seems to disappear when I think about my daughter.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just so afraid.
Hold on, say that again? What disappears?
This knowingness that I have, this trust that I have.
Oh, I see.
From my own experience, my ability to detach from the 1 to 12,000 chemicals I'm going to come in contact with, no matter what I choose to eat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But when, something about having a tiny person, I'm like, somehow randomly pretending that I can control or like filter everything for her.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
It's like you always want better for your kids. It's like you know what you maybe wanted or needed at the time, and that was you want better for your kid.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to give her the absolute best chance.
Right. And when you know better, you do better.
Right.
And, you know, maybe our parents didn't necessarily know better at the time, but now we know better. But it's still, like, not quite there, where it's, like, mainstream, you know?
But there has to be a balance back, too, to the trust.
Yeah.
Because I have been absolutely miserable, if I'm being honest, like trying to filter everything. I thought, you know, and I think it served us well for the time that it did, but I just have to let go more.
Yeah.
I just have to.
That's
Don't have to, but desire to.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the healthier choice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I've had a great time since I let go.
That's
great. She's been staying with her dad, and I'm having a great time.
Good.
Yeah. I think she's okay, too. I'll make sure tomorrow.
She's with her dad.
Exactly, because everything is perfect. That's why. Yeah.
Like you said, she's with her dad.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
He helped bring her here.
He did. He's her dad. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. But I feel you. Kara and I listened to a pretty stark podcast a few weeks or months ago about like just the Roundup chemical like in the atmosphere and the soil. Like it is like if you want to name one single like most evil thing, and you know that I don't like using that terminology, evil and stuff like that. But if you want to talk about something that has been insidious for the earth and for the human species,
and we're
it
talking
is
like
Monsanto.
So many, likely hundreds of people way aware of what it's doing, what it's capable of doing, before we like are light years close to finding the information that we now have about it. That to me is what makes it evil.
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Likely hundreds of people already knew.
Right,
by the time it
unconsciously
becomes,
did
By the
it.
time
Yeah.
we have access
become-
to the
becomes
proof
wide,
of it.
yeah.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
That's
I
what
know,
makes it
I know.
evil.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that it's a pattern. And yeah, I mean the whole thing. I don't have enough information, and I don't want to spread like, fear. But I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
And I believe in what you were saying, the adaptive nature of not just humanity but the earth. I mean,
I'm
there's
so glad you said that.
there's fungi species that can eat plastic and
Right.
eat
Oil.
Maybe that, maybe not plastic yet.
No, I think they were talking about one that, or like, maybe they were talking about like trying to grow one. I don't know. But definitely the oil, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's put it into the universe. Like, yeah, we have discovered that. It's out there. I totally believe that. And that's why I don't go nuts over, like, making sure... I mean, don't get me wrong, I recycle, and I'm honestly, like, astounded at how many people I know personally that don't.
Really?
Yeah.
I
And,
think most people I know right now do.
and it's a weird space for me because I want to have that conversation, but I don't want to come off judgy. And I know
Right.
even just the way I just said it now sounded
So
judgy.
judgy, Sean.
But it's just like, I guess it's astounding to
definitely
me
judging
because
anything.
like it seems like the easiest thing that we can do to do our part for the environment is just like
a different
not
bucket.
literally just not buying bottled water and having
Right.
recycling.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
It's really not good for you.
And I get it because there's, this idea that bottled water is better for you, but like the investment in a Berkey filter is so worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably going to be paying close to that in bottled water expenses anyway.
Eventually, yeah.
And it's just like, but if you do drink bottled water, like, at least be throwing those plastic bottles that you're using. Like, I hope you're drinking enough water, because we need a lot of water. Like, how many bottles
Yeah.
of water would you have to drink to, like,
Right.
really get... Yeah, right. Something
Right.
like that, daily.
Good point.
So
you're
I
drinking enough
really
water,
don't
no.
mean that to sound judgy. It's just,
it's a lot of plastic.
it's a lot of plastic.
Not to mention-
That's one person. Like, if we all decided to not buy bottled water, that would be a huge positive impact.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. I wonder what it will take. You know what I mean? Like to get everybody on the same.
I don't want it to
Team.
be catastrophe. I
Yeah.
don't want catastrophe.
Well,
to
what
be
is catastrophe
motivates.
at this point? Like, how much further are we
I don't
going
want
to
to
go?
go into specifics of what catastrophe could be.
No, this is
but
not
it
a question
could
meant to
get,
be
it could get
answered.
it could get catastrophic.
Oh, no way.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what do you mean? Are you saying that like
I was
you're saying that we're like it's already catastrophic?
Yeah.
That was what I was feeling. But like
Yeah.
it could get way more uncomfortable. Way.
I didn't really want to go there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I said it.
No, it's okay because you already know that I feel that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say I actively worry about it, but I want to be conscientious about how I'm actively investing into a smoother flow, into
Right.
motivating out of
It does-
positivity, not out of desperation and out of catastrophe.
Yes.
Because,
Not out of desperation.
yeah, I mean, fear can be a teacher, desperation can be a catalyst for growth. But
Yeah.
we've spent enough time thinking and talking about, we've been having this conversation recently about this, about not acting out of desperation, about, motivating out of wisdom and positivity. And like, if I'm thinking about it and talking about it, I have to be acting on it. I think that's partially like,
If not, the energy stays stagnant.
exactly,
giving life to it.
exactly.
Like
That's what I was
physical,
about to
because we
say.
live in a physical world.
Yeah,
We
that's
have to bring physicality into the picture, or it's just reeling. Which it doesn't feel bad all the time to have that, heady vibe about stuff. But we have to give
But it
it.
has to be implemented
physical
into
life.
It's thoughtful if it leads to positive action. If it's just a mental loop, just that heady kind of
another
bullshit,
thing.
you know?
It's just another distraction.
Exactly. So
Ooh.
yeah, that really leads me. That can be a huge reason for me dwelling in depressive states is when I'm not physically embodying
Yeah.
alignment with what I think about and talk about, and that's just like real growth shit, and it's is what it is. I'm just still navigating it. I'm still
Sure.
finding the tools to practice
Right.
that skill.
Right.
Do I even like this?
What?
For instance.
Why
I even like this.
Kind of wanna.
I like it.
I like it.
I like it.
I'm partial to the pinks.
Yeah. It's like, looks like a toad.
It looks like a
Oh.
woman backwards.
You know what it really
straddling
looks
something.
like? It's Jar Jar Binks.
It does. It does. It definitely does look like Jar Jar Binks. That's phenomenal.
I'm glad I didn't have to explain what Jar Jar Binks.
Oh no, I am a whole fan
That's
of Jar
the
Jar
one
Binks.
Star Wars I've seen.
At Yamani's that one night, somebody, it must have been Zach, was talking about this theory that Jar Jar Binks is like the evil force behind the scenes in Star Wars.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
that's what it all points to.
I can't even get into that. We're like Star Wars virgins. Kara, have you ever even
Really?
seen the first 3?
I've only seen the one with Jar Jar.
Wow.
Yeah, like
That's cool, that's totally
I've seen the
cool.
first trilogy, but I was a kid.
Not into it.
I
I
was
was
like
also-
a very young kid.
I've watched it a lot since I saw it as a kid.
I would like to revisit or like actually.
It's definitely
go through the
not as
series.
cool now.
But the first 3 are still pretty cool.
They're
right?
classics.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
classics, but
yeah.
they're not.
Are you saying like the new ones aren't nearly as cool? Or just, like, in general,
the
the
first
series?
new one, whatever number that was.
Yeah, we did see that one. Were you there? Or maybe I just saw it with my family. New
a
Hope
movie-
or whatever it's
no,
called.
I haven't seen any of those.
Return of the Jedi, some shit like that. I'm not sure.
I'm not something like that.
But one thing, one positive thing from that podcast that we had listened to about Monsanto and such, and like I said, I don't want to get into like details of the negative stories about it, because I think it kind of, you can you can kind of come to those conclusions yourself. But one of the positive things was what was it, Kara? It was like if we had a populace of what, like 5% bought organic.
It was like 14%.
14%, yeah.
And we're at 5%.
That is so doable.
I think we're at like 5 or 6%.
That is so doable. It's honestly a little shocking that we're only at 5% of the population buys organic.
I'm actually surprised by that.
Yeah.
I really thought it would be more.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's a lot of people, though. I mean,
Yeah.
But it's-
numbers.
it's a lot of people,
but it's not
but
a big
not a lot of
percentage, I know.
percentage.
But I'm just saying that's like a good sign. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That I feel like that's heartening.
Well,
And
But
that-
there's so many people in the world.
Yeah,
like,
but
But we
trying
have
to
that
look at
many
the positives
soldiers.
here.
Yeah, it's gonna be like-
if
what I
you
was gonna
think about
say-
it and you really like put it to the person, you're like, wow, that's a lot of people, and like all those people are affecting people. So
Yeah.
it's like it
Yeah,
makes it a very
right.
doable number.
that's exactly what I was going to say, is that to me the positive of it is that I think that's super doable. That 14% is not a lot. It's not a hefty percent by any
Right.
means. 14%, it's not even a quarter, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So the point being, if we had that percentage of people, actually this was a different documentary, but anyway, they were saying if we had like 14% organic, like that would essentially like be enough buying power and like enough of
To
a
hurt,
movement
yeah.
to hurt Monsanto and
That'd
to
be
make
wonderful.
it, yeah, to undermine their grip,
Shenanigans.
of
Call it
the.
shenanigans.
Okay, what are you looking for?
Cookies.
I guess my. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like that I brought cookies and I'm eating them all.
No, I love that you
I
brought
thought you were
these
gonna say,
cookies.
I like that I brought cookies. Me too.
Me too.
Actually, I haven't even had one yet.
You better hurry up.
Yeah.
Alright, that's where I'm going to cap this one. So thank you for listening so far. And if you've made it this far, I've got a question for you. So how do you feel about long-form podcasts? Because I decided to cut this one in half because, I'm still kind of getting into the podcasting game and I don't want to scare people away if they see a 2-hour long episode. So just curious, is that the type of podcast that you would be into listening to, or do you tend to think the longer it is, the less likely I am to listen to it? Just kind of curious, so definitely let me know. Like I said, there's a Discord that you can join if you want to join the conversation deeper. Definitely shoot a comment in this YouTube video, and other ways of connecting, and definitely let me know that question for sure. The next part of this, I think I will release it at some point. I just don't know the time frame. But yeah, like I said at the beginning, I feel like we get a little bit sillier, and I know at one point we're talking about our favorite flavors of Pop-Tarts and stuff like that. So it's it's a different take, but I think it's pretty funny, and I'm sure I'll share it at some point. Anyway, to end my rambling here, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.